I'll call the meeting to order at 6:31 p.m. on April 14th, 2021. For a roll call, committee members, we have Preston Fuller, Jen Williamson, Jay Sweeney, Dan Merchant, Chief Lamoth is on, Ben Kaufman's here. And for the public, we have Northwest Access TV, Zach Scheffler and Jonathan Giroux. Our next item of business is the Pledge of Allegiance. So there's a flag over there on a rise, and if everyone goes on Zoom, it usually goes, or mute, it goes more efficiently. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The next item of business before we get to election of officers is changes to the agenda. One item we talked about last time that I forgot to put on the agenda, so I just want to see if I've got a quick overview from the League of Cities and Towns about open meetings. Do you want me to go over it with you guys for a few minutes, or do you just want me to email you what it is? Kind of your pleasure. That'd be the only change of the agenda I'd have, is to add it to the agenda, that we do a quick briefing on that.
I think it would be helpful to go over it. If we've got any questions, and we've got an opportunity to ask.
All right, I will. I'll add that to. I'll make that the new agenda item 8 right before public comment. To go over that briefly, and I'll still email it to everyone. Open meeting. Wow, so agenda changes added. All right, the next item of business is elections of officers. We're going to need to elect a chair, a vice chair, and a clerk. Do we have, as soon as we elect a chair, which is the next item, then they're going to roll it from here and I can share the agenda. So I'm hoping this is kind of the end of me leading meetings for this group. But any nominations for chair, or anybody want to self-nominate themselves? Come on, guys. Don't all jump at once.
I'll nominate myself for chair.
All right, we have Jen Williamson nominates herself for chair. Are there any other nominations?
I would move the nominations be closed.
All right, Jay Sweeney moves that we close nominations for chair. I have a second on, well, do we need a second on Jen's nomination, or Ben will second it? And then Ben, will you also second closing the nominations? Good. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, congratulations, Jen. You are now our chair. I will share my screen with the agenda, and I'll let you take it over from here. If you want to ask for nominations for vice chair.
Okay, can we have a nomination for vice chair?
Don't all jump at once.
I'm extremely dedicated to showing up, so the likelihood of you having to do stuff is small. So it'll probably be the easiest position out of all of them.
I will self-nominate.
Right. Preston has nominated himself.
Do we have a second on that?
I'll second that. Jay Sweeney.
Jay seconds. Any other nominations? Nope, sorry, that's your job, Jen.
Any
I
other
think I'm-
nominations?
I move that the nominations be closed.
Second, Ben.
Okay, nominations for clerk?
We asked for all in favor.
Oh, sorry, all in
uh,
favor.
To make Preston vice chair. Good. All right,
Now nominations for clerk.
you can nominate people who aren't here as well, so that's their punishment for not showing up. Just throwing that out there.
And I wasn't here first meeting, but didn't I see in the minutes that Armand had a question about being a clerk? Did he indicate that might be something he'd be interested in?
Oh, he wanted to see if we could bring another staff member in for helping take minutes. The way I look at it, because we run a pretty short staff at the town, and we only have of office staff. There's only like 5 or 6 of us, and they all have other board meetings at night. We already asked them to do 1 or 2 nights a week as is. So I said I'll handle it with the clerk. Between the 2 of us, we can put together the minutes pretty well, and it's nice. Northwest Access comes to these and records them, so I can rewatch them to shore up the minutes if I miss anything. But is that a motion for Armin?
I feel like it'd be kind of mean if he asked if somebody else could do it.
Well, we need somebody. I'll pull a name out of a hat. Anyone? We have Danielle and Armin who aren't here. And then does anyone here want it? Ooh, Jay, you're on mute. No.
That's a hard no. Thank you.
Yep. All right. So Jen will entertain a motion for Armin or Danielle.
That's why I took chair. I didn't want to do any typing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Clerk's always the fun job. In the legislature, it's the newest person usually on the committee. They think they got this great job as clerk, and it's because they're the new one. Someone make a nomination for one of those 2, and we'll just move on.
I'll nominate Armin.
Preston nominates Armin to be clerk. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Jay, second. All right. Jen, if you want to ask for any other nominations, I guess.
Any other nominations? No other nominations, then we move to close.
We have a motion.
I'll make a motion to close the nomination.
Second, Ben.
Second.
All right. You can ask all in favor if you want, Jen.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye.
All right. So Jen, what basically the way it works, just kind of work down the list that I've got here, and then I can pull up the rules of procedure.
Okay.
Do that. So I can pull up. And I'll talk about these. These are the rules of procedures draft. Effectively, they're the same rules and procedures we use for the planning commission, the DRB. And all I did was change the name of the committee. Basically, the purpose of this is how we're going to conduct our meetings that are timely, efficient, transparent to and for the public. We're in accordance to Vermont state law. We're we have to conduct these in accordance with Vermont open meeting law. As such, Town of St. Albans Police Advisory, all these meetings are open to the public. Application, it just procedures for how we will have our regular, special, and emergency meetings. The Town of St. Albans Police Advisory Committee shall, I'll try to paraphrase these. We will request all special and emergency meetings after contacting all police advisory committee members. So this would be, let's say there was a horrific policing event in the community or something that, the board felt compelled that they needed to get together sooner than our meeting or something along those lines. Everybody would be contacted to set a time, and then we would have to give 36 hours notice of that meeting. So that's just enough time. It's harder now because the newspaper doesn't run daily. That really hurts us on on warning stuff, but minimum to try to meet the standards, minimum 36 hours. In absence of the chair, the chair has to request those meetings. In their absence, the vice chair can, and in their absence, the clerk can request a special meeting. Number 3, the chair shall obviously chair the meeting. The vice chair, if the chair is absent, and if the chair and vice chair are absent, the clerk shall then conduct the meeting. The chair shall rule on all questions of procedure and shall enforce the rules of procedure. So typically, if where this might happen is in a controversial meeting and there's people, the public, who want to comment while you're having a discussion. Technically, we follow Robert's rules. You don't have them speak until an open piece there. So it's really hard to deliberate when there's not order. So it's the chair's job to keep that order, is basically what that says. Shall have a majority of us to constitute a quorum. So we need at least 4 members to conduct a meeting. If 4 members don't show up, we have to cancel the meeting and tell the public we have to cancel it because there wasn't a quorum. So if, say, only 3 people showed up tonight, we couldn't host the meeting. That's why it's always good to let me know ahead of time if you can't make it, because then if I find out Monday that 4 people can't make it, I'm not going to waste everyone's time. I'll send out an email with the chair and be like, hey, we got 4 people who can't make it. We'll have to cancel the meeting.
And then do we just pick a different day, or we just skip it until the next meeting?
Depends. It's the chair's prerogative. The chair could ask if there's a date that works for everyone else, or you go to the next meeting.
Okay.
A motion shall be carried by a majority rule of the full police advisory committee, unless unanimous vote is required. So there's that. Police advisory committee member may attend a meeting via telephone or video conference. So when we start going back to in-person meetings, if someone is traveling or away or something, they can call in, or I think Zoom's going to become a fairly regular thing even with in-person meetings. But that's just saying we allow that. The Town of St. Albans Director of Operations, with the approval of the chair, shall determine the final content of the agenda unless otherwise delegated. So that'll mean, instead of just me sending an agenda out to you guys, a couple weeks before a meeting, I'll communicate with Jen one-on-one, and we'll set priorities for an agenda. And once we agree to one, then everyone else it'll get sent to everyone else. We shall have an agenda, so we're not going to meet without an agenda. this says the chair may make motions and may vote on all questions before the police advisory committee. So that's, Jen could make a motion on her own. Sometimes they don't allow the chair to make motions or vote except in the time to break a tie, but we allow that here in our other committees as well. We can't deny any committee member speaking privileges by another member. So that's all of you as duly selected members of the committee are allowed to say your piece on any issue. That's, to protect kind of, minority rights there in a sense that you can't be shouted down. No limited number of times a member may speak or speak to a question. So it's not like in the legislature, we're only allowed to debate something, like we're only allowed to speak to something twice. On a third time, we have to get a rules suspension. So, sometimes they do that to limit debate, but we don't do that in this committee or our other committees as well. The police advisory committee member may speak without being recognized by the chair unless the chair requests that the police advisory committee members wait to speak until they're recognized to keep an orderly meeting. So it means you can chime in unless Jen's like, hey, it's getting crazy. Please raise your hands, so we can keep this going. Again, the chair shall not deny anyone, any member the right to speak. You may recess a meeting, continue it in a place certain, so that if we had a meeting that we can't agree on something, you could just say, we're gonna recess until tomorrow at 7 and come back and pick it up. Doubt it'll be an issue, but it's there. The rules of procedure shall be made available to the public at all meetings. So if anybody says, hey, what are your rules? We're required to give them those rules at any time. And you can amend these at any time with a majority vote of the committee. And we have to adopt these annually. So like we just adopted these for the planning committee. Once we get kind of on a normal cycle, come every March after town meeting day, we have a reorg meeting. We re-elect the chair, vice chair, clerk. We re-adopt these and then, usually don't do much else in that meeting and then kind of move into, the business after that. If we adopt these, I'll put a date in here and then I'll add, a blank space for Jen as chair and so on, and everyone on the committee. I won't require signatures for now because we'll have it in minutes, but come July, if we go back in person, you'll all need to sign this to say these are our rules of committee for the year. So those are our basic ones. They're not anything special to this committee. It's what the town uses on other committees. So it's obviously open to changes and discussion. But if people think it looks well, and Jen can ask for a motion to adopt them.
I ask for a motion to adopt these.
I'll make a motion to adopt these advisory committee rules of procedure as presented to us.
Okay,
just
second.
now.
I'll second.
Jen, you can say, is there any discussion at this point?
Any discussion about this?
And seeing none, you ask for.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, I will get those done and then. That's planning commission. I got too many documents up. So through there, update from police providers. Roger can make it. Chief Lamoth, is there any updates that you'd like to give the committee over the last month?
Hello, everybody. Well, I can just say a couple quick things internally and externally, I guess. I just got done the police advisory board meeting for the city. So I'll kind of fill you on basically what I told them. Internally, we just updated and adopted our new response resistance policy and our new duty to intervene policy. Those were adopted, passed on Monday and adopted today. Those went through our city police advisory board and the city council. The mental health response policy will be coming out next month. Those are the latest three of several that have come out lately. Also internally, you know, we're trying to get a new sergeant in place. Working on that. We got a couple openings for officers, and we've got a couple of people in the pipeline on that. One of them is out to background now. The polygraph is done. Externally, we're seeing the workload increasing, which you would expect with spring and also with COVID. I guess you could say it's lightening up, although the numbers don't say that. People generally are acting like it is. I think is due to the vaccines and just a general state of mind, right? So our numbers are picking up. Just to give you some general stats, I did not break them up between the city and the town to kind of treat the PD as one for both locations. But last month we had 800 calls for service between the two areas, so it's getting a little bit busier than it has been previous months. Traffic stops, we still aren't doing a lot of them. We're trying not to be overly proactive, just not so we're not the cause of spreading COVID if we can help it. We had 100 traffic stops last month. Just for your knowledge, I guess you say about 71% of those resulted in warnings as opposed to tickets. But generally speaking, things are good. I just think that we're going to see a big uptick in cases here, again, with people thinking whether it's realistic or not that COVID's reducing, but just summer alone is coming, right? So that brings work. So we're good. The PD in general is good. Yes, sir.
I have Chief Lamoth, I've just noticed just being at work that I've seen an uptick in traffic. You guys just around the Bay Area, is that just me noticing you, or have you been spending a little more time just kind of?
No, we're spending more time down there because of, first of all, the creamy stand down there, which is dangerous, just given the number of people. And also Hathaway Point Road produces a lot more traffic this time of year, as does McQuam Shore. We have people calling in, asking us to be down there. And if we get those calls, we try to respond to those areas. So we try to make a presence and just to slow people down. There are people walking everywhere, particularly along the lake, and those roads are narrow. They're just not designed for that, but those are the attractions right now. So, and like that corner where you are is a little dangerous for the amount of people that are there. So we're trying to be present where we can, but those seem to be spots where I find that if there's going to be an issue, those are good locations where it could happen.
Right. I saw a few cars. I'm like, I figured it was that, but just wanted to ask.
Yep.
Does anyone else have any questions for the chief? Right. If not, Jen, we can move on. The next agenda item is to go over the open meeting laws. I can go over with everyone. Chief, I don't know. It's up to the chair, but we don't have anything else on the agenda for you tonight. If she wants you to stick around until public comment, or if she wants to let you be able to go home.
I think it's up to the chief if he wants to stay and listen to public comment or not. I'm okay with either.
All right.
I will step off only because in the other board, they asked me to step off for public comment so people can speak freely. If you want me back on, just send me an email. I monitor it 24/7.
Okay.
I'll get back on in 3 seconds.
All right. Thanks, Chief.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you, guys.
Chief.
Have a good night.
I will actually, I'll provide a quick update too with the sheriff's department. They're continuing to hire folks, you know, as their contract comes on with us on July 1. Ben, you weren't here last week or last month, but the city PD is our police provider until July 1st. At that point, the sheriff's department takes over. So, you know, we're talking to both right now, but come July 1, it likely just to be the sheriff's department. Let's see here, looking for the right. All right, so you guys see the VLCT Municipal Assistance Center quick guides? Are you seeing that or no? Oh, it says paused. There we go. Seeing that one or? Oh. Sorry. Share it right here.
You got some wastewater documents up right now, Corey.
All right. The fun parts of my job, I joke, you wouldn't believe between my legislative role and my town role, how much my time's dealing with wastewater and other human and animal waste. The document here, this again, I'll send this out to everyone, but it just reiterates what we operate under. And I know a lot of you are fairly new to governmental or municipal laws. And this isn't comprehensive, but I thought I did a pretty good job. A regular meeting is a meeting that takes place regularly occurring, prearranged time. We can have special meetings and then emergency meetings, again, only to unforeseen circumstances. Again, it says here in actual law that regular meeting schedule should take place. Designation of the regular meeting schedule should take place in the first meeting after town meeting day, although not required by law. We recommend posting the regular meeting schedule in prominent place in town for the entire year. So we update on our website. We put it up at town hall. What our agendas are, at the beginning of every month, we put up the monthly schedule of meetings. So that's where that stuff gets put in place. Special meetings here, law only requires at least 24 hours advance notice. Again, we go for 36. And again, that means this notice is given to all members of the body, either orally or in writing. Given to an editor, publisher, or news director of a newspaper, radio station serving the area. So every year we have to designate our newspaper of choice by Vermont law, and we go the St. Albans Messenger at this point. So all of our public notices are there. Given to any person who requests to be notified of special meetings. We haven't had, I kind of just, like Northwest Access TV, I've just started sending them the stuff for this so they can be here for it. We physically post it in or near the clerk's office, again, town hall. And there are two other public places, usually both post offices, the one at the Bay and the one up by the Walgreens now. They're always changing the name, but up near where Ben Franklin's used to be. Agendas for all regular are required for all regular and special meetings, but not required for an emergency meeting. 48 hours notice of regular meetings and 24-hour notice of special meeting. That's why I send out the agenda, try to the week before or shortly if I can. Again, we post them, and really a lot of it's online. The state probably post-COVID is going to have to look to updating how we try to make these open and transparent. And does the Facebook post equate, or a front porch forum equate a newspaper post? That's actually a sign of the newspapers charge us to put all of it in, so it's the way they've always made money. So they're big fans of that. Minutes. This is one that I actually learned today. The minutes, I knew they need to be taken, except executive session, and that they need to be even drafted minutes need to be posted on our website within 5 days of the meeting. And we just have as passed, and then once we officially adopt them with any edits, then we put them back on our website. But we'll take down the draft ones, and then they have to stay on our website at least 1 year.
Can I interrupt for 1 second? I have to
Yep.
step away from the computer for like 10 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yep, no problem. So that's basically it. It's the open meeting stuff. If anyone has questions, I'm happy to answer it. It's really kind of common sense. I think the biggest area we get into a group is if we send out an email to the group, you can't discuss business back and forth. That's a violation. Anytime basically 4 people on this committee get together, you potentially could have a violation of an open meeting law. So that's where a lot of select boards have gotten in trouble, like a Christmas party or holiday party or something, they discuss business. So even if 4 of you are together at an event, say, next year when we have implicit bias training at the town hall again, you're all there. We actually warned that as a meeting, but you wouldn't really be discussing business if you can help it. That's kind of all I have on that piece. I don't know if anyone else has any questions about open meeting. Basically, the concept is be as transparent as possible, give as much warning as possible. And if you have any questions on, should we be doing this or not, probably the safest answer is no. Put it on an agenda and talk about it later.
On the email question, did you have a chance to discuss that? See if there's any way we can get that to happen?
I did. I discussed that with our town manager, and our procedure, and this is how she'd like to proceed, is we don't give any other board a town email except the select board. She'll agree to set up an email that if people want to send, it's probably a discussion to the select board a little bit, the anonymous tip. When people complain even about a trash ordinance, we actually require a signature in the town so that people aren't rebel rousing. So we're trying to figure out the right way if someone isn't comfortable coming to me or any particular board member to share their concern. Again, I think we can build it into the new website, but as of now, the town manager didn't feel that was a need because we shouldn't be discussing business even on your personal email. If someone reaches out to you, just forward it to me personally, and then I can share it with the group. It's why I probably will start moving. I know I didn't always, but try to BCC you guys on when I send it out. So even if you do respond, it doesn't respond to everybody and it doesn't become a potential issue that way. And so I can kind of, be the filter of all that. You're allowed to ask me a question at any time about anything, just one-on-one, and I can address that. So up the food chain from EJ, the answer is no, but we can monitor it, and if it becomes an issue and you start getting emails as committee members that you think it raises to occasion, she's open to having a discussion, but just right now, no.
But there definitely will be a anonymous tip website thing.
Yep. So our website should launch in the next few weeks. It's in we've gotten all the content over to the firm. It's just how quickly they can get it done at this point. The design's been finalized, and then, but we can create a form. We'll just create a form that if they want to do a concern, and and then at that point we could put a piece in our agenda. We like in planning commission, we have an agenda item called basically it's mail, anything that might have been sent to us that we share with the committee, and we can do the same thing here. But that's something we can, when we talked about recommendations we can make to the select board, we can talk about how to improve the way people can, that's a potential policy position you guys could make. Any other thoughts or discussions there? The next spot on our agenda is public comment. Jen, if you want to see if there's any comment from the public, we have Jonathan and Zach here.
Jonathan or Zach, do you have any comments to make today?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Next item is any other business. Jen, if you want to see if there's any other business in front of the board, ask anybody if they have anything else.
Is there anything else we need to discuss tonight?
All right, the next item, I sent out minutes. I didn't know if anyone saw a need to edit any of the minutes. I know I've got to add Zach's last name to, he was here. But do you want me to pull those up, or do you want to, it's easier if I share my screen for you guys to look at those?
Yes.
Share. All right. So we had Danielle. I didn't know Dr. Williamson and Reverend Fuller, if you just want Jen Williamson or Reverend, or if you want your titles, I put them in, but it's your personal preference on those.
That's fine.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
All right. And then Zach, I can add it actually right now. Just kind of, we go vague until we go into a detail. We in the town never been huge fans of overly in-depth minutes because you can take almost verbatim and then no one really reads them. Kind of hit the highlight, but I think they were pretty good. I'm just kind of scrolling slowly so folks can kind of look them over. And when we start meeting in person, it looks like with guidance, potentially July, August, maybe September. We can do this. I'll have physical copies of minutes at meetings so you can read them before we get to this point. And those are the minutes. Does anyone have any edits or any suggestions?
No. Can I get a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as amended with the addition of Zach Zeffler's last name.
Second.
Is that Banner or Preston? Sorry.
Ben.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. And the last piece on is, would you entertain a motion to adjourn?
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
A motion to adjourn.
You only need one to adjourn, so just all in favor and then it's done.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Jen, do you mind